Hello everyone, old school from whatthebuck.net, coming to you live from One Buck Place. Found a little bit of a quieter spot with some shade. First want to let you guys know who are What the Buck followers. You guys, if you're following the site, you know that we lost a member of our crew yesterday. Richard Zeller passed away at home. So our thoughts and prayers are out to his family, and we thank all of you who reached out about that. We'll let you guys know what's going on as soon as we know more with regards to service if you're interested. Now, back to training camp. Energy level was low today from my perspective. It may have been me, but I think that the energy level was low. I think it's because of the amount of padded practices in a row. It's very hot, and I think that the guys are ready to hit someone else. In general, it looked like the speed affected the execution. Running backs all look pretty good. Saw more drops than I'd seen today. The guys who popped on offense for me when I was watching were the ones that you've kind of grown to expect. You saw Chris Godwin popping a lot. O.J. Howard did not have as dominant a day, but I'm telling you, yesterday was so dominant, it would be hard for him to match that level of output, I think, in another practice. And God help us if he ever does it in the game, it will be one for the books. Deshaun Jackson was effective today, as was Mike Evans. Jameis Winston looked pretty good. Fitzpatrick, I got to tell you, I know I've been beating on this guy, and I don't mean to because he's probably a really nice guy and pets kitties and all that sort of stuff, but he just doesn't look like he wants to be here. And I don't mean that from a personal perspective, just the amount of effort I see on the field. I think Ryan Griffin is continuing to cement his position as a number 2 quarterback. Not that anyone necessarily cares, but we should. Because knowing that you have someone behind Jameis in case there's an issue is really important. As we saw today, Brent Grimes went down with an injury. I don't know what the injury is. I went to talk to some of the other guys who were with Cutter after the practice. Couldn't get an answer. It looked like a high ankle sprain when he went down. They wrapped his lower leg above the ankle but below the calf with ace bandage. He went off on a cart. So he put a little bit of weight on it, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm sure they'll let us know what's going on. Brent's a vet. I can tell you this, he didn't look like he was in much pain. I know I finally have a hat. Thanks, Pinnacle. Was it a cut? It looked like a cut. So they put on gloves and taped it up, and that's what I told Trevor, Tampa Bay Trey, as well. So it didn't look anything serious, so it was just a laceration. Thank you very much for all you guys who were out there. I was out there trying to see what was going on, and everyone was asking some sort of cheeseball questions. Anyway, on the defense side of the ball, there was a lot more contact today, and I think it's because the defense is tired of not hitting. Levante David made his presence felt, so did Quan Alexander. Beckwith continues to fly all over the field. Safeties continue to shuffle. Justin Evans mixed in with the ones. I saw him on the field with Conte. I saw Wilcox on the field with Tandy. There was a great mix-up, and the secondary seems to be communicating very well. There was one highlight play of the day that I saw, which was a tip ball, about 6 tips from different defensive backs, thrown by Fitzpatrick, which was a prayer. That was caught by Martino. Martino had a good practice today, I thought. Huff had another couple of drops. I still think they're trying hard to find a way to get this guy on the team, but I don't think the speed is enough. When Grimes went out, the defense didn't seem to miss a beat. But then again, I think that offensive execution today, because of the fatigue, was not very good. Madden level absurdity. I don't know what you're referring to, but Walker had a very good... Thank you for bringing up Walker. Walker, you guys know I was a Wilson guy, and I definitely think that Wilson should be able to show something in the preseason, but Walker had his best day today. Griffin went to him a couple times. Fitzpatrick went to him a couple times. Good body control in air, and good hands. So I thought he had one of his better practices. Again, that 5th receiver spot, guys, is going to be something to really watch for. It's going to be a heated contest, and you're going to need that because as much as we love Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans, injuries are going to happen. You're going to have that backup, have those guys down there. Griffin is greater than Fitz. It is not close. I didn't see anything happen to McCoy while he was out there. He was dancing around, all that sort of stuff, and none of the press guys were talking about it. So I apologize. I do have to apologize to you guys who follow me regularly. I wasn't as attentive today as I normally am because of everything going on off the field with Richard. But I did try and pay some solid attention when I was able to. I also got a chance to meet one of our writers from Ireland, Connor Philpott. It was good to see Connor. Bond is, absolutely. Go back and check my previous updates, and I'll talk about Bobo in a second. Thank you for the question. Devontae Bond, if it weren't for what Beckwith is doing, we would be talking about Devontae Bond. That's the thing. Someone asked me, well, where's the weakness? And I said, well, I would have said linebacker behind Quan and Levante. But Devontae Bond and Beckwith have been playing very, very good. Then I would have said safety because people hate Conte and so on and so forth. But Wilcox and Evans have played very, very well. I would have said offensive line, but Sweezy has been everything that's advertised. And that means that everyone else has gotten better. And Marpet's been good, even though he wasn't in there today. I thought that Josh did a good job coming in and backing him up. So the areas of weakness have looked strong. As far as Bobo Wilson goes, he has disappeared since the pads come on, and that's not what you want to see happen. So he's got to get out there and get the job done. McNeil looks like a feet, good vision, good hands. He's going to have to get reps. Peyton Barber's playing really well. That running back depth is also very tough. They're going to have to try and hide someone or find someone who's sacrificial, and I still think that Charles Sims may be the guy who's on the outs there. Not because he's anything bad. He's certainly been better than he was in OTAs, but I still don't think he's as good as the other guys in this depth chart. Doug Martin's looked great. Jacquizz Rodgers has looked great. Peyton Barber's looked very, very good. McNichols is a guy that they've invested in with the rookie, with the draft pick, so I think that's very good. So there's your update. Kicking looked adequate today. I think Folk missed one, but I didn't keep track of all of it. Salia versus Stevie T. I haven't seen enough to call that, so I will make sure that I get a good call on that. You're calling Barber on that? Okay. But I'll keep an eye on the bigs as well. So I did not see the Jude injury. Apologies. So we'll have to keep an eye on Greg Allman's. If you're not following Greg Allman, follow Greg Allman. He's usually got the fastest response on any of those things. So that's what I'll be doing. Be watching the game Friday. He's in a brace. That's not good. We'll be watching the game Friday and be doing a pregame and a postgame on video as well there. And we have our podcast on Thursday night at 9 p.m. If you want to come join us live at whatthebuck.net, we'd love to have you. Justin Evans has been looking very good. Talked about early in this broadcast as well as on the previous video. So he's been looking very, very good as advertised. It'll be interesting to see tackling. We haven't seen any tackling. I assume that's CBA related. We've got to see how these guys tackle. They're getting to the position, and then they've got to tackle. The report in this podcast, not from me, from one of the listeners, was Jude Ajay-Barima. So anyway, we'll see you guys later. Whatthebuck.net. Go Bucs.